Jai Jayendra, Namaste and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to solve the 71st question of the problem solving series and the 9th question of the topic string. The difficulty level for this question is medium and this question has been asked in Google, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, Uber and many other companies. String to integer conversion. So we know this atoi, it is a library. So we are going to code this atoi library where we'll be given an input as a string and we'll convert that string into its subsequent integer value, right? Let's look at the example 42. So we are given the 42 as a string, so we will be returning 42 integer value, right? Similarly minus 42, so if it's a negative number, so the string is given as minus 42 because everything is a character here since it is a string. So we'll convert it into a proper integer value, that will be minus 42. We'll return integer value, right? Now if the string has some alphabets after it, so it's given in the question, you need to ignore the alphabets and you just need to return whatever the right integer value is there before any kind of other special characters or non-digit character. So we'll return 1337. It is also given that you might have trailing spaces or leading spaces, like 42 could be like some space and then 42, so you need to ignore them, or 42 can be like 000, so you need to ignore this 000, right? Because it doesn't make any sense to have 000 before integer value, so we'll directly return 42. Okay, so how do we solve this question? What do you think? How can we convert this string into integer? We have this value, so 42, say let's take the example of 42. So when we traverse and when we see the character is 4, then to convert this character 4, say if stri is 4, this is this 4 character, right? When we are traversing this string. So if we subtract the 0th character, because there is a ASCII code of the character when we see, right? So if we subtract this 0 from this character, from this 4 character, so the ASCII code of this gets subtracted and we get the integer value as 4, right? So if we take a int value and we say int a or d is equal to stri minus 0 character, then if it whatever the value is there, if this lies between 0 to 9, so we'll get the integer value. In this way we can get the integer value of whatever character digit we have. And then when we are moving forward, if we keep on multiplying it, we have solved a lot of questions like this in arrays, then we get, like, if whatever value, say 42 is there, we have got 4, so we multiply it with 10, 40, and then whatever value we get here, again when we traverse we subtract this, so and we add this value, whatever value is there. So if we have this as d, so d into 10, if this value is d, so we can have the value as answer, and answer will store at 0, and we can have the answer into 10 plus d, right? So when the answer will be 4 and then the d is 2, so 4 into 10, 40 plus 2 will be 42, and we'll get the answer, right? But there are a lot of edge cases, like we have to see whether the first character is a positive plus, or even if it's not plus, it actually means plus. If it is minus, then it is minus. So we need to see what is the sign of the value here, right? So this second thing is sign. So the edge case is first figure out whether it is a positive integer or a negative integer. The way we will get the answer, we have got it, right? The basic logic. Now the sign. The third thing is whether it has spaces or not. If it has spaces in the beginning, we need to exclude them, right? So we'll ignore the spaces. Space ignore we need to do in the front also, in the back also. And then if it has 0 at in the beginning of the string, so we need to avoid trailing 0 as well, right? So we need to avoid it. Leading 0 we can't avoid, we'll add it, right? It's a number 42,000, so we'll have to give 42,000, right? So these are the few cases that we need to see. Okay, so let's code it. We will figure out as we code it. For coding the solution, first what you should do, you should write what do you want what are the things, what are the cases that you need to handle. Okay, so in the beginning we will be handling that if there is a space in the beginning. Okay, so the space issue we need to first solve out. Okay, so ignore space will be the first thing that we will solve here. Okay, after solving this, ignoring the space in the beginning, we will handle the sign value. Okay, whether it is a positive or a negative value, because we are starting from here, right? So first space has to be ignored because space can come, then the sign of the value can come. Okay, and then see, okay, whether it has trailing 0, then ignore trailing 0. Ignore trailing 0. Okay, ignore trailing 0, and then handle the general case that we discussed, right? Handle the general logic case. Okay, so let's do it in this order. Okay, so we'll have int result, okay, equal to 0, digit equal to 0, whatever the value is there, and then sign equal to, we'll take by default 1, sign as 1. What else? Do we need anything? Okay, size is string dot size. Okay, so we have these things, right? So now we'll ignore the, and we'll take int I equal to 0. So traversing it, right? Now, so first we'll handle, okay, while I is less than n, and if stri, if si is a space, okay, then keep on doing I plus plus, because we don't want space in the beginning. Okay, so first case is handled, then we will handle the sign case. Okay, so if si equal to hyphen, or si equal to plus, okay, and I is less than n, okay, then we will see if this is the case, then if si equal to plus, then our sign would be 1, else if that is not the case, then si is negative. Okay, because we have these two cases only, so si would be, else the sign would be -1. Okay, so we have handled the sign, we have handled the spaces. Now we'll ignore the trailing 0. Okay, so the third case would be if while I less than n and si equal to 0, then keep on doing I plus plus, because we don't want I in the beginning. Okay, right? We ignore this trailing 0. Now we will handle the general case. Okay, so now the general logic case, and also with the general logic case we need to handle this case as well. Whenever there is a wrong input, we need to not take it, and we need to return 0 if there is only wrong input, like if the string is given as CDE, okay, or anything, then we need to return zeros, or if it comes in between, then we need to ignore and we need to return whatever the string to integer value is given in the previously. Okay, so handle the general logic case also includes this case and the logic for this solution, right, converting the string into integer. Okay, so we need to handle both the things. So what we will do, we'll write this. So if, so first thing should be I should be less than n, and the si value, the character value should be greater than equal to 0, and it should be less than equal to 9. Okay, because by default we whenever there is a comparison with the character, since it's a character, so the comparison is made after converting it into integer, right? By default every character has its ASCII code value, right? So it should be between 0 and 9. Okay, now while, so when this is the case, this is the general case. Okay, so if this is the general case for the numbers, we have solved these 3 previous case. Now for the general case, we will again loop here to see, because this case has to be there continuously, right? So we have put if condition because if this is not the true, if this condition doesn't come, then else we will return 0. Okay, right? Because if this is not true, if I is less than n, this si in the beginning only after all this situation, so we'll return 0. It's a different, it's not a digit in the strings character, right? So we will return 0 whenever this condition fails. So you need to identify the order. Okay, now coming to this logic here. So here again in the while we will write, okay, while is I is less than n and si is greater than equal to 0 and si is less than equal to 9. Okay, so when this is the case, we have a while case here. Now we will solve this problem that, okay, our digit is, what is the value of the digit? Si minus this 0 character value, right? Now then we will have result is equal to result into 10 plus digit to find the value, as we have discussed already in the example. So we'll have the value as a result, and then when this while loop is over, so this will complete, right? And then we will return result here itself after completion or traversing the whole string, right? So once this while loop will be over, we'll return the result here only. But are we forgetting something? So you can see I have left some space. So what will happen if the integer value that we convert, right, string to integer, if it overflows, there is a limit to the storage of integer values, right? Integer data type. It can store something as 2, 1, 4, 3, something like this, and that ends with 7. Like I don't remember the exact max value. So we have an int max, that is the maximum that an integer data type can store. If we want to store further, we know we can store it as float, double, any other things, the other data type. But if this value is overflowed, when we convert the string to the numeric value, then what will happen? So at that case, if it is overflowing, then we need to return the int max value or the int mean value. Okay, and here we need to actually return result into sign. Okay, because we have got the sign value. If it is a negative number, then okay, so result into sign will return, and here we will check whether this number has crossed our overflow, our maximum value or not. So if result is greater than int max, so if it is greater than int max, then we should not even go and find it, right? Digit si minus 0 we have already done, so after that we are adding this condition, right? So and then again we are multiplying it into 10. So actually we need to see if result is greater than int max by 10. Okay, and if the digit is less than 7. Why? Because when we will be multiplying it by 10, okay, then already we will have this value, right, into 10, and then the digit value will come. So if it is greater than or equal to, if it is greater than 7, that means already we have gone to the overflow condition, right? If it is greater than 7, otherwise we can do it, but if it is greater than 7, then we are in a problem. Okay, so in that case what we will do, we will see if sign is negative, then we will return int mean. Okay, because it is a negative value, else we will return int max. Okay, so this is very difficult to understand here, but I have discussed all the points here. Okay, in this way we will solve this question. Try to solve it yourself. The link to the question is given in the description. Anyways, I am going to explain all this complete again in the code walkthrough.
Here is the code walkthrough of the 71st question, string to integer in lead code platform. So you can see this implementing the my atoi function here. The string is given. It's given in the question already that you need to ignore the leading white space, determine the sign, convert it, and then rounding it. Okay, and this overflow thing, it's given in the question, so it's easy now. And you can see these examples as well. It has been asked in multiple companies. You can see them. Companies asked questions, all these companies have asked it recently. And yeah, let's look at the solution now. So as you can see here, it's very clear now. So we have got the sign, answer, and the size of the string defined. So first we ignore the leading space with this condition, and then we handle the sign. If we always check the I has to be less than n, and if the sign is given minus or plus, then we make the if si is plus then 1 or otherwise minus 1. And okay, we need to keep on incrementing it. Why they have kept on incrementing it? This has to be done because once you have traversed it, I think I have missed this condition. Once you have traversed this sign, right, then you need to move ahead, right? So this I plus plus is very important. Okay, so that we'll go to the next index. Okay, so I think I missed writing this. Okay, so in this way the sign is handled. We have ignored the leading edge, the leading case. Okay, and if suppose there was no sign minus or plus, that means it's plus only, right? So we don't go into this condition, we directly get the number. But if the sign is given minus or plus, then we have to go to the next index after getting the sign value. Now handle the case where the first non-space character is 0. Okay, so we have handled this as well. So if there is 0, we see, and then we see okay till what time we have this 0, and if it is 0 is there, we will increase the index. Okay, and then handle the general case of non-zero digit. So we check I is less than n, and the si is equal to greater than is equal to 0, or here we have given it's 1, so it's fine, no problem, because we have ignored 0, right? So 0 is in the beginning, so it's no issue. You can give it 0 as well, it won't change the solution. And then we go to this condition and we add this condition, because in the beginning it cannot start with 0, right? So this is the first letter, that's why they have given as 0. But if we have to give 0 also, then it also won't be an issue, because already we have incremented it, right? Si has to be will not be 0. So okay, while I is less than n and si is greater than equal to 0 and less than equal to 9, so we convert it here, and then we check the overflow condition before updating the answer, that if whether our answer has crossed the integer max value or not, or the integer mean value or not. And then if this condition is not followed in the beginning only, then it goes to the else condition, as it's an invalid input. Okay, so let's submit this. So it has been accepted. This is little bit difficult level question. I think now the solution is clear to you all, and see you also in the next video, where I'll be explaining the 72nd question of the problem solving series. Jai Jinendra.